right, let's get started, Abby. We gotta get started. You want to say hello to everybody?
Hi guys.
Hey everybody, we're back. It's yours truly, Chef Lucmann Pierre. Again, I'm here with my little chef here, my baby girl Abigail. We're here to do another cooking segment for you guys. Hopefully you guys can follow along and do the recipes. Behind the camera, I have my other daughter, Gabrielle Pierre. I gotta plug that in because she's pointing to herself like I'm behind the camera here. So yeah, I know. She's like, why are you calling me out? Anyway, we are excited to do this segment every Sunday. The goal of it is to, well, multiple reasons. We want to encourage you guys to cook at home. It's Sunday dinners. I know I'm probably taking you away from your Sunday dinners, but we're looking to encourage you guys to have Sunday dinners, to cook at home in general, and also encourage your kids to cook. My baby girl Abigail has been cooking with me for a long time, as I've shared before in many videos before. She's been cooking with me since she was probably about 3 years old on her step stool, and so it's been a fun time. It's great bonding time with me and Abigail. You know, we do a lot of other stuff together, but she has a passion for cooking just like I do, so there's nothing better than that. I know you guys ready to get cooking, so I'm not gonna hold you guys too long, so let's get started. So you want to tell them what we have today?
We're making pan-seared salmon with some sauteed kale on top.
Yeah, with some vegetables, right?
With some vegetables too.
Yeah, so let me run you guys through what we have here today. So we're gonna start with, we have our salmon.
Got the salmon.
We have a beautiful salmon here that, you know, fresh cut. I bought the whole slab from the store and I, you know, trimmed them to size. So we're gonna use that. Then we have our aromatics where we have some fresh basil. We have some scallions, some thyme. We have some parsley. So these are all of our beautiful aromatics we're gonna be using to add flavor to our salmon. We have fresh garlic.
We got some olive oil.
All
we
right.
got some.
And now we're gonna run you down to the spices that we're gonna use.
We got.
If my camera lady would bring it closer to show us what we have here.
We got some Szechuan seasoning. We have. Where is it? Stop it. We got some paprika. We got some kosher salt. We have some Szechuan.
Where it's a mixed spice with onion powder, garlic powder, some dried basil, and some parsley as well. And here,
And we have some,
you want to tell them what we have?
I don't know if it's onion powder.
All right, looks like we just had a quick glitch here. Hope you guys are still here with me. I see you guys are.
We got some adobo seasoning and what's this?
And that's the Old Bay.
Old Bay.
All right, so these are all the spices I'm gonna use for everything that we have here, including the vegetables and the salmon. All right, let me see any comments here. Sorry guys, let me try to get closer to the camera. I don't have my glasses on, so I'm gonna try, well, I'm gonna have Gabby read any questions you guys have and she'll get them to me and I'll be happy to answer them. All right? I see we got a nice crowd here.
Rebecca Tibbet says, hi Abigail.
Rebecca! Rebecca from Haiti.
Pop says, hi Abigail. Terry Brown says, we are on. Deja and Brianna are cooking with you. Greg Riccardi says, clean the lens quick, lol. And Andrew Lynn said, that's a glare. So we adjusted the lights. Hopefully that's better. Is it better, Greg?
Oh yeah, he's the videographer, so I'll take his counsel on that.
Okay, so what are we doing next?
Are we looking? Can you guys see us well? Sorry, we had some lighting issue here, so we're just trying to work through that. If you guys can see us well, there's no glare. You can see all the ingredients we have here. Give us a thumbs up. Let us know just with a quick comment, please.
Gabby,
Greg said it's better.
Beautiful.
Yep.
All right. So Viago first says it's okay. I'll take his advice on that. I think we're good to go.
So what are we gonna do next?
So the first thing we're gonna do, so as we start to plan our food, one of the things that's very important to do is to plan the timing of everything that you're going to cook. So the stuff that's gonna take the longest, you wanna get those started first. And the things that, as far as my salmon, I don't want that to cook too early. So I'm gonna start to prep my ingredients. I'm actually gonna have it seasoned first, set it aside before I pan sear it, and then I'll work on the other stuff, sear it, get in the oven, and I'll finish the other stuff I have to do. So first we're gonna start with seasoning our salmon. Do you wanna bring that over?
Okay.
All right, so let me get a wider pan so we can spread that.
Yep.
Let's see here. You want to talk to the folks while we're doing that?
Any questions?
Someone said, please put the recipe down below.
The recipe down below.
Do you want me to write the recipe? All right, so after the segment, we'll have the recipe down. All right, guys? I promise I'll write the recipe down for you, but try to pay attention as we do this, and because it's very, very simple, but I want to make sure that you guys get all the key thing is making sure you get the right seasoning. All right, so here's the salmon, so I'm going to transfer to a wider pan so that we can season it well. You probably won't be able to see with that one. You get a wider pan. Here. I'll do this. I want to make sure they're able to see it. All right, we're going to do one more transfer.
Make sure you guys can see it.
I want you guys to see everything that's happening.
Okay.
All right, so we have our salmon. We have that on a plate. So the stuff we're going to do now, we have all the spices that we're going to incorporate on there. You want to season, Abigail?
Okay, so should we start with paprika?
Yep, just a little paprika. Just sprinkle high. So you know why you sprinkle high?
So it spreads everywhere.
So it spreads everywhere so you don't have clumps in one side. So when you're eating it, you don't have a bite of some heavy spice. So you spray it high so it spreads all over the place. All right? So that's good. That's enough paprika. So now you want to continue on. We don't need any salt for that because all the other spices have salt in it already. So you want to get some of that. There we go. And on the table now. Keep it on the plate. All right. Very good. All right, I'll help you so we can continue on. So we have the adobo. We're gonna sprinkle again, guys. We the spice went to your nose. And we have our the portion I'm using, guys, is just a pinch. I know many of you will say, well, how much? I don't cook with recipes like in terms of measurements necessarily. I go by, by touch. I kind of know how much, but for the purpose of this here, we have about 6 pieces here. So we'll probably use about a 1/4 teaspoon of each spice to spread on there. All right, about a 1/4 teaspoon of spices. And then so here's another key ingredient that I use on my seafood or chicken or. So the Sauteed seasoning, it adds some really good flavor and also some color. So I'm just gonna sprinkle just a little bit on here. That's it, all right? And then now we're gonna put that aside and then we're gonna chop up our aromatics, all the herbs. Remember I said it's an herb-crusted, so we can just use some fresh herbs. If you're gonna do that, make sure you get some fresh, good herbs from the store. Not the dried ones, because this adds a lot more flavor. So we're going to start with chopping those very fine so that we can put it on the salmon. I'm going to trim that down. So I'm just chopping them down fine. So I started with the scallion. Alright, so I've got my scallion cut.
Okay.
And then.
And we can skin all these.
So you want to do the.
Start from here. Right?
Yep, so the way you want to do thyme, you hold it from the top right? And then you pull down.
Like,
You pull down, the herbs will come and the stem will stay back. Now you want to get a good grip from the top.
She's not on the camera.
There we go, just like that.
She is.
there. All those. And another one. Are we gonna use all these?
No, we just need to probably about just, let's see, just get one more. Just about this much should be good. Let me help you with it. So again, you hold from the top. Again, just a quick tip, guys, when you're doing, if you have fresh thyme, sometimes people just try to pluck each one at a time. You hold it from the top, where the big stem at the bottom, and you hold it, and the herbs just come out and the stem stays behind. So it's a quick way to get that out, where you're not having the stem in your food, okay? All right, so we've got this much. I think that's enough time.
That's enough.
Yep, that's enough. We're gonna chop it up real fine.
Okay. So would
You wanna do the chop?
go like?
Yeah, just, so you wanna get your knife like this. So when you're chopping like this, you don't wanna get your fingers here. So it's when you're having to hold something. For instance, if you're cutting this, you hold it like this. When you're chopping, you wanna get your hand over it, just the tip of your hand, enough to just give you protection, right? And it keeps the knife sturdy for you. So you wanna lift it up, and then you chop down.
Okay.
Okay?
It's hard, right, Abs?
Yeah.
Alright. You're doing great. See, let me give you a different knife. This actually is better. You want to use this one.
Okay.
I'm okay with this one, but for you, because it has a curve, so you can do like this, alright?
I can still smell the onions.
Hey, I meant to say for those of you who are cooking along, I meant to tell you, get your oven on to 365 right now if you don't mind doing that, because once we start cooking the salmon, we're going to pan sear it and then we're going to get in the oven soon. So get your oven to 365. I'm going to do that right now since I didn't get it started. So you might as well do that now for those of you who are following along.
All right, Zion and Natalie are on, and Natalie said, great job, Abby. Chef Freddie Perez is on. He said, sazon, yummy.
Daddy, you accidentally did the scallions first. Now it's gonna stink up here.
No, that's fine. Scallion is not as strong as onions. Alright, that's good. That's perfect. Good job. So what you want to do, you want to take that off the knife, and you got it all together, and you just set that aside. Alright, so I'm going to do,
How do you do this one?
so this you want to bunch it all together like that, right?
And then you cut it like.
And then you trim, after you get the big trim, and then, good job, good job. You continue doing that, okay?
What's this, Daddy?
You doing good, Abigail? Alright.
How do you do it when you
Alright,
get
so
to this
let me
point?
try to get it more fine. So the same thing, you want to get your knife like this. Let me try to get this done, okay?
Okay.
So as you get better, you'll be able to get it faster. So, and then you pull it back, and then you chop again. You pull it back. So you kind of want to bring it all together.
Let me try.
You want to try it? Okay, make sure you get your fingers up top. Don't get your whole hand because you want to be able to see what you're doing. It's not speed, right? You gotta get control first. Control first. So you want to bring the knife up because if you're moving along, it's not chopping. Good job. Very good. I think that's good. That's good. Who else do we have on here? All right, so now we're gonna chop up the fresh basil.
So is this like this sort of?
All right, for those of you cooking at home, are you guys doing okay? Are you guys keeping up to speed with us here? I want to make sure that you guys are okay. I know we have a few people who are cooking along with us. So next week, what I'll do, guys, I'll send the full recipe over, all the ingredients early in the week. So if you guys want to shop and you could cook along with us, we'll do that as well. So right now we have some of our family members who are cooking along. They went and purchased all the ingredients that we have here. So they're at home in their own houses cooking along. That's what shelter in place is. Right now we're doing it here and we're using technology and we can all get together. So, all right, sorry guys, I think my connection kind of dropped again. Not sure what's going on. Our service is acting up today. But what I was saying was after this live, we're all gonna Zoom together and eat dinner. So it's a fun way for us to have our Sunday dinners here and our family members over where they are and sharing dinner together via Zoom. All right, so we're gonna continue on. This is good, Abby. That's perfect. You're doing a great job.
I did it.
Are you a professional chef or something? Good job. All right, so we're gonna move that aside. All right, so now we wanna get all the herbs right in here. So what you wanna do, get some oil. You wanna sprinkle some oil, right? You're gonna move that for you here. Sprinkle all over. Let's get your herbs right in here. Get them all in. For those following along cooking, just make sure you get all your herbs in and you want to massage them in, kind of get them pressed down on the salmon. So you don't want to keep them loose because if it's just sitting there loose, once you put it in the pan, it's going to separate from your salmon and it's going to burn, right? So you want to press it down, make sure it's well incorporated into the salmon, all right?
Like this?
No, well, you want to press it down. So you want to do both sides. So you want to make sure the oil kind of goes all over. When it's fully incorporated with the oil and the herbs, then you want to make sure you press them all down.
Press it like this?
Yep.
Won't that flatten the salmon?
No, not too much. No, just enough to get the herbs to stay on the salmon. All right? And you want to make sure you get both sides because we want seasoning to go on both sides, right? So when you're eating it, you have flavor all around and starts to incorporate inside. Beautiful. All right. This is looking good. This is looking good. Can we get a close-up on here? This is what we have here. This is what it looks like before we pan-sear it. We have all the herbs. I could smell the basil and the parsley.
Yep,
and
I can smell
once you
all
chop it all
those
in, it's all incorporated with that extra virgin olive oil. Ah, smells amazing. All right, so we're gonna put that aside and we're gonna continue on with the other. That's perfect, Abby.
In there. Just push it on like this.
That's good, baby. That's good.
Okay.
You want to wait?
Yeah.
There we go.
Can you
All right.
wash your hands between everything with fish?
Yep.
Oh.
So
then
right here.
I need to wash my
So
hand.
right there, you could wash your hand. Right over on the other side here. I'm gonna put that aside, and we're gonna clear our table.
You didn't wash your hands yet.
1 second. I'm gonna clear this table off.
Brianna said, did you guys have the skin on still?
No, I took the skin off.
What?
You could do it skin on or skin off. I just chose to do it skin on, skin off today. But you could keep the skin on, and when you sear it, you got to make sure it stays. You sear the skin really, really well so it's nice and crispy. Because you do the top side first, then you flip it, put it on the skin, and let it sit there. Don't move it. Just let it sit there until you feel like it's nice and crispy. And then you put it in the oven to finish off. So that's how you get a nice crispy skin, then you can eat it. It's really, really nice.
Daddy, I saw skin on the bottom. Isn't there skin on the bottom?
No, I removed it already, yes.
Oh. Then why is it still gray?
I took care of it already.
It's still gray. Jeez.
All right, what you doing? Cleaning up here. Gotta washing my knife.
What's this?
All right.
Get this going.
So now I'm gonna work on my vegetables.
They said, did the fresh scallion and garlic go on the salmon?
The
Scallion went on the salmon, but we didn't put garlic on the
yeah,
salmon.
the garlic I'm gonna use on the kale, and also after I sear the salmon, got in the oven, that's gonna be part of my sauce. I'm gonna actually make a little white wine sauce to go along, so that the garlic is gonna go in that. All right.
Is there a substitute for adobo seasoning?
Yeah. So for adobo, it's a combination of multiple spices. So it's got onion powder, garlic powder, cumin, It's got the salt, some kosher salt. So it's all these spices that are grind together. So that's really what it is. So instead of that's what I said. So all the onion powder, garlic powder, that'll be the substitute. All right. Good. So now we're gonna work on our vegetables.
Hey, I can do this.
You can do that. All right. So let me sharpen my knife.
Did you put black pepper on the salmon?
No, we did not.
Oh, good one. Who is that?
Deja.
Deja, good question. We're supposed to have some black pepper on there. Very good. So now we have our viewers really engaged. You see that, Abigail? I love it. I love it. That means you're paying attention. You got a bonus for that. So here's my black pepper. Somebody just reminded me I didn't put my black pepper on. So I'm going to put the black pepper on.
And I just took out the center of the pepper.
All right. Let's put that aside. And I'm going to sharpen my knife. I just washed it. Since I was using fish, I just washed my knife. I'm just going to sharpen it to make sure I get my vegetables done. And then guys, make sure you work with a sharp knife. One of the biggest mistakes people make, they think because when a knife is sharp, that's when they can hurt themselves. It's actually you hurt yourself more when your knife is not sharp. What happens is you're forcing yourself to cut down, and you could easily slip and cut yourself. So make sure you have a sharp knife. Once you touch your veg or whatever it is that you're cutting, the sharp knife runs right through. You don't have to pressure it down. You just let the knife do the work. All right. So, I always sharpen my knife, whenever I'm cooking. And if you have one of these, it's called a steel. You also have any sharpener that you have, you can use. But I like using this. I've been using this since I started cooking at 18 years old. So I still use that. Wait.
Yeah.
I was cleaning. Right? So what happens after I clean? I was sharpening.
The iron, the metal is still on.
Right. So after you sharpen your knife, if you're using the blade, so the quick tip for you guys. So after you use your steel, remember you always want to wipe it down because as you sharpening it, there's pieces of metal that's being taken off of the knife to sharpen it. That's gonna be careful, sweetheart. That stays on the knife, so you want to wipe that off. Not like this easy. You can cut your finger, sweetie.
I know.
Okay, but you want to go on the opposite side. That's what I was trying to tell you. You want to go on the opposite side like this. Okay. You go towards your finger, then you cut your finger in. Okay. All right. Okay, so let's move on. Any questions?
No, we still need to do this.
Wait. You want to cut it?
Yeah.
All right.
Let's get the tiny one.
You want a tiny one? All right, while you're doing that, I'm going to work on the carrots. So she's cutting the peppers. And I'm going to work on peeling the carrots. You want to slide over this way?
Yeah.
Very good.
There. So, got this piece done. Then I'm going to do another piece.
All right.
Let's get the center off. Out.
You guys still with me?
Oh, and when you're cutting a pepper, you want to get out the white part because that part's bitter.
All right, very good.
Ouch. I spiked myself.
You got yourself?
Not bleeding, but I spiked
All
myself.
right. So when you do it, you want to pull away, right? So you want to go like this. And you want to go away from yourself. All right.
Okay.
So never go towards you because if you miss or you go too fast, it's gonna cut right into your finger.
I went like it was.
Like
I was
that.
going like shimmying.
No, you don't want to.
like
You
this.
don't want to shimmy like that. So you want to go down and pull and then go out.
Because
away from you.
I didn't want to like get this part
That's okay.
off.
So what you do, so here's a quick thing as I'm giving her some instructions. She got a little, poke on her finger, so I was giving her the right instructions on how to cut it. So once you have that white piece in the center here, let me show you. So this piece here, you want to take that off. So what she's trying to do is go like this, and her finger was on the other side, and she poked herself. So what you want to do is you want to get yourself, if it's not flat enough, you want to cut the, and where your thing is flat on the table, right? You want to get it flat on the table. Then you go away from yourself like this. All right, so once it's curvy like this, it's hard, and it might wobble and you might cut yourself. So you want to make sure it's on a flat surface, anyway you can take that off. All right?
So we got all these, and then you can just slice.
Now we want to do long strips.
Oh, long strips.
Like this. Okay?
Okay. Well, that's not. Let's go like this.
There we go. Very good.
Good.
So while you're doing that, I got another knife so we can keep it moving.
Okay.
Good job.
Go like this.
We're gonna turn this off. Take the.
How many carrots?
I'm just using one carrot. I mean, we're a family of 5, so just one because we're using multiple vegetables. I'm gonna use 1 carrot. We use 1 pepper, 1 red pepper. I'm probably gonna be using maybe half of each pepper because the star of the show here is the kale. So we're not really trying to overpower with the vegetables. The kale is the main ingredient for the vegetables, so we want to just incorporate some color and some different veggies on there.
So like this piece. So we'll just leave out that piece.
Right. So that should be enough.
Then,
So about half the yellow pepper.
okay. Let's pour
Here,
it out.
let me do this before you. Let me just cut it in half. Hang on. Then we can say that.
What?
It looks like a pumpkin, kind of.
Yeah. Want to do it?
Yeah, I can't really
Alright.
pour it.
So.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Just 1 carrot if you didn't hear that before.
Yeah, I'll probably maybe just because it's a really big carrot, I'll probably use half of that too. So, but if you're cooking for 2, you just kind of measure how much vegetables you guys want. So this one is not a perfect amount for this really. It's just vegetables that you're gonna saute to eat. So you want to make sure it's enough for your family. Again, the kale is the main ingredient. So you're just adding these other veggies just to add some color and a variety. All right.
Start to get this there.
Very good. All right.
Put this aside,
Yep, we'll put that aside.
and then we'll just cut this like this.
Very good.
This
Let's move this out of the way. Good. Beautiful. She's doing good, right, guys? All right, so here, let me cut this. Let me get it moving. Get these knives out of the way. Okay, so we have the red
So
peppers.
how are we gonna cut the carrot?
We're gonna do strips.
Okay.
So let me get the green pepper first. Hang on.
If you are cooking along with us,
What's the question?
well, Grandma said, if you are cooking along with us and want to have dinner with us, I can send you the Zoom meeting ID.
Letitia said you're doing great, Abby.
Thank you. So do you cut it like this?
So we're still working on the veggies, guys.
Oh, Daddy, do you
Yep.
want to go like this and then cut it
Alright.
in half and then?
So because it's a really long carrot, and you want to cut maybe this one, you probably cut into thirds, right? So you want to start down. Now you want to get your heaviest part of the knife down. There you go. So whenever you're cutting something that's very thick, just trying to give you some tips. Maybe some of you guys can use that too. Whenever you're cutting something that's very thick, so you want to get the knife, the heaviest part of the knife down first. That's what's going to give you more strength to cut down. You start with the tip. Your hand is far back, so it's not going to get enough pressure on there. So going this way and taking the trim off. And the other part is if you're, hang on, sweetheart. When you're cutting something that's very thick, you want to get it flat on the surface. You want to trim down first. Because the carrot is round, it's easy for you to cut yourself as you're trying to cut. So you want to get a flat surface, just trim a small piece down where it's nice and, see, like right now, this can't go anywhere. Now, but this one's moving around. This one is not going to go. You have the flat base right here. And then you start to trim. You want to finish it? So you want to trim like this, right, Abby?
Oh, somebody named Karen Villasana, I'm sorry, said hello from Mexico. You are too sweet cooking together.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Karen.
You coming all the way from Mexico?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Thank you for coming on. Really enjoy you guys watching us here, and hopefully you guys will try those recipes at home, and feel free to tag me whenever you guys if you do make the meal at home. I'd love to see what you guys make, all right? And of course, she's eating everything. That's what she does all the time.
I'm just tasting one of each color.
By the time we're done, we're not going to have anything left. All right. So we've got that. We'll do one more. That's good.
Marjorie John Jack said hello, chef.
Hi, Marjorie. So glad you guys are here, spending this time with us on a Sunday. I know it's family time, so hopefully your family is here watching with you.
And maybe one day you can make this too.
All right. All right, so I've got my carrots cut. We've got our peppers cut. We have everything here. All of our veggies, beautifully cut.
We got green, red, yellow, and green colors.
Let me get this.
Nicole Bell said good evening, chef and family.
Hi, Nicole. Hope you guys are staying safe and enjoying your time with your families and your loved ones, whoever you sheltered in place with. All right, let's clean up, Abby, before we keep going, right? All right. So now, we've got all of our veggies cut.
Tracy Pierre said looks delicious, and Christine Williams said Hallie and I are here. Nice job, chefs. That camera girl too.
Thank you guys. Thank you for coming on. Nicole, let's see, Christine. Thank you, Tracy Pierre. Hope you, I know you love to cook. You're a great cook yourself. So hopefully you'll make this sometime this week or whenever you can. Please tag me. I want to see what you guys make. All right. Please tell Pat I said hello. All right. So let's keep going.
What's next?
What do you think we're gonna do next? We got our veggies cut. We got everything here.
Onion.
There we go. I'm gonna chop the onion.
Did you cut the basil?
Yeah, basil's already cut. That was already seasoned. All right, for onions, we're not gonna use a lot. It's, you know, very strong, so enough to just add a touch of flavor in there. Your main ingredients there, like I said, is the kale, and then we're gonna incorporate the other vegetables, the carrots, peppers. We have red peppers, green peppers, yellow peppers, and then just a touch of onions for flavor.
I think peppers are my new favorite vegetable.
Nicole Bell said, love to see your daughter loving her veggies.
Yeah, she loves veggies, and it's, what we did, we started, you know, with vegetables since they were little. Since they were babies, actually, I used to make their baby food with vegetables ourselves. So we never, you know, bought the store one, so we made them ourselves. So they end up loving vegetables. Still trying to get them to eat some. What is it?
What? Brussels sprouts.
All right, so Brussels sprouts, for some reason we can get her to like it yet, and I make a really good one too. So I don't know what it is, but we're still gonna work on her with Brussels sprouts. But she eats every other vegetable. But I'll take that. I'm very happy. I'm very happy. All right, so we got all our veggies here. All right, so Abby next. So what we want to do now, we want to move over and get our salmon seared, right?
Okay.
All right.
Bring over salmon. Are we gonna do it in here or here?
We're gonna do it in here on a flat surface.
Okay.
We might need to pan. I don't think we'll be able to get all 5 in here. So let me see if
We have 6.
we have 6. So we'll probably need another pan.
Are we gonna put a little oil in there?
Yes, we are. All right, there we go. I have another small pan, so we'll be able to get both on.
Oil. Is that good, Daddy?
You need a little bit more.
Oh, Nicole's favorite veggie is broccoli. You like that too, Abs, right?
Yeah, broccoli's yummy. I think my new favorite veggie is peppers.
Peppers. All right, get some here. You got both of them on?
Miss Nelda's watching. Hey, Nelda.
Is that good for one or one?
A little bit more. Come on this side, okay?
This one?
Yeah, come on this side so folks can see what you're making. They want to see, right? All right, so what we're doing here, we have our olive oil in the pan.
And the trick to see if it's hot, you get a little water on your hand, and you
Come closer so they can hear you.
spread it on the water to see if it's hot
So it's
enough.
not hot enough, right?
Yeah.
Very good. So where's our butter? We're gonna do a little bit of butter there. Okay. More. Slide the camera this way for me. Turn it this way.
No, the other way.
There we go. Perfect. All right. So
I'm gonna add a little butter.
I'm playing chef and cameraman at the same time. All right.
Stabbed me with that.
You got it. All right, so we have our oil here. It's getting hot, right? So what I'm going to do is add a little bit of butter right before I put the salmon on.
Because butter like burns fast.
So reason you can go with, some people go with butter alone. I tried the butter and oil because it prevents it from burning really fast. Because once the butter burns, it has a really bitter taste to it. So right now, my pan is ready. This one's ready. So this one's not because I think our fire was too low in here. So we're gonna start here. Wanna bring closer, Gabby? Abby, over on this side. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get my salmon the top side down first. What happens is if you put the bottom side first, it starts to shrink the salmon. So you want to put the top side down first, and you get a nice sear. And that's the part that's gonna, you want the beautiful presentation on. So you want a nice crispy top. And you want to hear this when you put it down. A nice sizzle.
Let's see if this one's ready. It's not coming up. Yeah, I think it's ready.
You turn this light off. I think this is a distraction again.
Let's
Maybe not this one. Is that better?
That's not ready. It's not ready. This one's not ready. Daddy, this one's not ready. I don't know how to do it.
I think we're good. I think we're good. So we're putting the salmon in right now. And we're gonna let that sear. And when you put it down, give me 1 second.
Daddy, could I get some of the veg?
Rock Richard Oscar said hello, everyone. And Jim Lopolito asked if you've ever tried honey glazed Brussels sprouts. So when you get a break, you may want to tell them about how we made the Brussels sprouts for the kids for Easter.
I actually did.
You made Brussels sprouts? That was Brussels sprouts?
All right, so I'm gonna move this slightly here.
You said that was cabbage.
All right, so my salmon, so when you guys put the salmon down, don't get so antsy to pick it up. All right, so let it sear. The indication that it's ready, when you start to get like right halfway through, it starts to go from that pink to like a whitish color. That's when you know you're ready to pick it up. So the top is nice. If you do it too early, it's not gonna be crispy on top, and also it's just gonna stick on the bottom. All right, so it should pick up by itself. And that's why you don't break it apart. All right? So I'm going to start to flip those.
They cook very fast.
Yeah, beautiful. There we go. I'm going to start with the back one since I started here first. Oh, that's beautiful right there. Turn this over.
Those are very crisp and
Oh my gosh. I wish you guys could smell these bad boys. Oh, they smell so good.
I don't think these two are ready.
These are perfect. All right, So here's what we have here, guys. We have all the aromatics, the flavors, the spices, everything right now is going through the fire, and you can smell everything coming up. I just wish you guys were here to check this thing out. Oh my God. Dinner's gonna be amazing. All right, so now you wanna get this thing out of the oil, so you don't wanna cook it all the way through in here. You're gonna pull them aside and put them in a separate pan so I can get it finished in the oven. I'm gonna just take them out. And I'm transferring to a separate pan, whether you could use a baking sheet, whatever you have. I have this what's called hotel pans. Because I'm a chef, I have different things, but a regular baking pan, whatever you have, you can transfer it into. Turn the fire
Brianna
off.
said it smells amazing.
Oh, it tastes even better. So I'm going to put this away. So now, I'm going to put this in the oven, all right? I had my oven at 375 degrees. I'm going to put that in the oven. It's going to take probably about 8 minutes to finish. Again, reason I didn't let it finish here, when it's direct heat on the bottom, it's going to dry up the salmon. All right, so all you want to do is get a nice sear on top, and then
You're gonna put some of the juice on top.
no,
so it stays
this we're going to use to make the sauce.
Oh.
All right, so that's going to be for our sauce.
Okay.
So you get that in here, nice and crisp on top, on the bottom, and then you get it in the oven for about 8 minutes.
So Abigail, a couple people are asking about the seasoning on the fish. Can you tell them what the seasoning was on the fish?
The seasoning on the fish was. I'm gonna come over here. The seasoning on the fish was some paprika, some Szechuan seasoning, adobo, and no, that wasn't adobo. This was
That's adobo.
adobo, and what's this one again? Obe seasoning.
And then what were the herbs that you crusted it with?
The herbs, we put basil, we put thyme, we put scallions, and what's the other thing? Parsley.
And Deja asked, it was 8 minutes, right, in the oven?
Yeah, about 8 minutes in the oven. But again, based on your oven temperature, you may want to check it. But if you're using a convection oven, it might go a little faster. But 8 minutes should be enough, as long as you get a good sear on there. It's tilted, Gabby. As long as you get a good sear on there, 8 minutes should be good. Now, if you put it down, if you cooked it too long on the pan, it's going to be less time in the oven. So you really got to control how much once you get the good sear on top, that's all you need. You don't need to cook any more than that. All right. So now, our salmon's in the oven. Now we're going to be working with we're going to make the sauce, right? And then we do our vegetables. All right. So
then I can stop eating them.
yeah, you can stop eating them. You're right. That would be great if you would stop eating them. All right, so for the sauce, I had some beautiful cherry tomatoes. We have the yellow cherry tomatoes. So what I'm going to do is
All you have to do is cut them in half.
I cut them in half, cherry tomatoes. Well, you can have the red tomatoes. I have the regular cherry tomatoes here.
Someone said
So
no
I'm gonna
garlic, Abigail.
yeah. So we can actually chop up some garlic for that.
Okay.
All right. So we have the cherry tomatoes. I'm gonna the same oil that I use to sear the salmon. There's so much flavor in here. I don't want to waste that and start with fresh oil. So I'm gonna use the same oil that's already seasoned here. I'm gonna saute the tomatoes. All right. And then I'm gonna incorporate some white wine, add some beautiful flavor in there, and then, since we didn't do the garlic yet on the salmon, we're gonna add some garlic in here. Let it cook down. Again, let it cook down a little bit. Then we're gonna run it through the blender to kind of make like a nice puree. You can do it without pureeing it. I just like to do like the nice sauce for presentation purposes. I think that's gonna look better once I puree it and kind of drizzle that over the salmon. But it's up to you. Once you saute it, let it cook down. All your spices are already in here. You don't need to add anything else to it. Any questions?
Jim said, Chef, you look nervous.
I do? Oh, wow. Maybe I don't know. I've done this a few times. I shouldn't be nervous by now. Who said that?
Jim Lopolito.
Oh, my man. Well, thanks for the feedback. I try to cool down a little bit. Maybe I should get myself a glass of wine. How about that?
Woosah, woosah.
All right, so my daughter just went with the same technique that I give her just to calm down. You know what? Somebody just said I look nervous. So whenever they're kind of flustered, I tell them to go woosah, woosah, right? So she just did that to me right now. That was good. So I'll just woosah at it. I'll come down. All right, so you working on the garlic, Abby? Mm-hmm. All right, awesome. What else we have? We have the garlic. You got this. Once you get Abby doing that, and I'll look for a food processor so I can blend my.
A good way to cut garlic is you want to put a knife on top of it and smash it.
Good job, Abs.
And then chop. Make sure it's pretty fine.
Rock said Chardonnay will do, chef.
Brianna said, how are you cutting the garlic? Oh, never mind.
What did she say?
She said, never mind. She's got, Abby's got you, Brianna. Oh, Nicole said she is a wonderful chef and instructor.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's tilting a little bit.
Rock said, enjoy, guys. It's great family time that will stay forever.
Thank you, thank you.
I think that is fine enough. Do you think we need more?
Let me chop it down some more. Because you were on the big chunks. So what we're gonna do is, so remember what I told you last time to get it finer? Get a little bit of salt right on top, right?
Yeah.
And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna just kind of crush it down. So what happens, the salt kind of helps it to bring, it actually brings the water, because you know the garlic has water in it, it breaks out the water out there also. All right, just like that. Then you can chop some more, and you can kind of crush. Right? No.
What? You
That's
want
enough.
to tell them what you told Abigail how to cut the garlic?
Oh.
With the salt?
So you put salt on it, and then you put a little salt on it, and you kind of go like this with it.
Very good.
And
I
then
don't know if you guys heard. So what I was trying to tell her is to not have big chunks of garlic. So when you chop it, you have those big chunks. I put a little bit of salt on top, and it helps you to mash it down. It brings the water out of the garlic, and it helps you to get it finer. All right, so that's what I do. You kind of put the salt down, you kind of press down, and then you pull away. Press down and pull away. I'm gonna bring it a little closer again. Press down and pull away, and then see, as you can see now, the garlic is nice and wet on the table because the salt helps to pull out the juice from
And it's kind
the
of
garlic.
sticky.
All right, so that's good.
Wilson Remy said, when is she going to Kids Chop?
What's up, Wilson? What's going on, man? All right, you want to finish up, Abigail?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so what are we?
What are we going to do?
We're gonna move right over here and work our sauce.
And Karen Villasana said, wonderful cooking family time. Very congrats. Thanks for sharing with us.
Absolutely, absolutely. Glad you guys are able to come and spend the time with us here. All right, Abby, you want to come over so we can work this sauce? All right, so we're going to work on the sauce now.
Do you want to put this in a bowl or something?
Sure. I'm going to grab this plate right there. So I just turned my fire back on. So I'm going to let that heat up some. Again, we had some herbs in here already from the salmon. There's so much flavor in it, so I'm going to just drop my cherry tomatoes right in here. And then incorporate some wine, some butter, and just let that cook down. Tons and tons of flavor in here.
Jim said, enjoy dinner. Always fun to watch you and the family.
Thanks, Jim.
Jamal said, do you use fresh spinach in the medley?
Actually,
using kale.
we're using kale today. So just kale. So, I mean, you can absolutely use any type of greens that you like. You can incorporate the spinach. You can incorporate some.
Daddy, are we gonna put the garlic down first?
No. You want the garlic down first because that's gonna burn. Right. So our fire's on. I'm gonna add my tomatoes.
After that, what are we gonna do?
All right.
Time to take the salmon out.
Beautiful.
Thanks, Dee.
All right. There we go. Oh, that's beautiful. So right there, we're gonna put that right here.
Let's see if I can flip it. Let's see if I can flip
Careful.
it.
Let's see. There we go. You got it. Beautiful, Abby.
Whoa, that was a big one.
That was a good one, right?
That was a good one. Shivani said hi.
Hi, Siobhan.
And Kiana said, go Abby with your knife skills.
All right, that's good. So we'll put that here. Now get the garlic.
Garlic? Spread that out.
So we just got the garlic in. So just put about a teaspoon of garlic, right? So I'm just gonna mix it right up. I'm flipping. If you guys have, you just use a spoon, whatever it is that you know works best for you to stir it.
Wait,
You got it?
it's a heavy pan. Nope.
You gotta go harder. Harder, harder. There we go. Don't be shy. You got it. Good job. All right, so
Nicole said, great toss.
all right, so we're gonna let it cook down a little bit more, and then we're gonna incorporate some wine. Actually get a little flame in here. Can you get the white wine for me, please? Speaking of wine, since I had a recommendation from my friend here to get some wine, I got some Chardonnay.
How do you open this thing?
I got it. All right, that's it. I got it. So I'm going to add a little bit of wine. Now this, guys, you don't have to do this. So what I'm going to do is kind of have this deglaze in the pan. If you're uncomfortable with the fire, you could add the wine and just let that cook down. But deglazing it, I'm going to put the wine in, get to the fire, and then just let the fire get a little bit in here. See, it's right here, just enough to kind of get the flare in here. And then I'm just going to let it simmer, cook down.
Gonna put a top on it.
You want to get a spoon so we can taste it?
Fritz said, I love this, brother, showcasing your amazing talent as a chef, but most importantly, fatherhood and husbandhood. Proud of you, my dear friend. This to me is what royalty looks like.
Is that Fritz?
Yeah.
My brother Fritz, what's going on, man? And listen, I apologize for last week. All right, I'm going to do it right now. So last week, I don't know if you guys saw the shirt I was wearing. It was from my friend. He's a designer. He makes amazing.
You can't eat it
What's
yet.
up?
You just put in the wine.
No, you don't want to taste it yet.
I can't.
Not yet.
I know you said you wanted to.
No, just put it here. That's fine. It's okay. So last week I was wearing my shirt that says Haiti. So my friend Fritz, he's a designer. He makes all types of clothing, and his company is called Heritage. If you guys want to wear some nice shirts and pants, I think he's got the whole product line now. He's been growing, amazing guy, great father and husband. Family man, so check out his product. His company name is Heritage.
Someone said, Wilson Remy said, can my family come over to quarantine with you guys? We need
After
a
quarantine,
chef
you're more than welcome.
here
After quarantine.
around us because we've been eating unhealthy foods.
After quarantine. All right, let me taste this.
Can I taste?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Can I taste?
Careful, it's very hot.
Okay.
Yummy, right?
I don't like tomatoes.
You
But
like
this
them?
is good.
This is good, right? All right, so here's what I was saying, guys. You can keep this just like that and serve it over your salmon. I'm choosing to blend it and kind of make a puree out of it to make a sauce to go on top.
Yeah.
But you can serve it just like that. It'll be just perfect. All right, so I'm gonna get my
Yum, 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 yum. I don't even like tomatoes. I thought I wasn't gonna like this.
Well, it's... So I'm going to transfer my tomatoes into my food processor.
You mean
My NutriBullet, which I use almost every day. There we go.
Get all the juice
Turn
in
the
there.
fire off for me, yes, please. All right, so we got that. You want to do it?
Hop on it. Make sure it's on tight.
Tight. All right, and now we're gonna run it through the food processor.
Nope, not on. Oh.
Hang on, dude.
That's gonna make a good sauce.
Let's check it.
It's still hot.
I know. Oh my
Woo!
Oh.
Hot.
Let me see if I can get this close to you guys.
It looks so good.
Oh,
And
now that's gonna be just drizzle over the salmon.
it smells so
oh my
good.
god.
It smells
Awesome, right?
smells so good.
Alright, so we can keep it right in here. Actually, this will keep it hot. Right in here. Thank you. Oh, Gabby wants to try it. Alright, so
Gabby approves.
thank you. Alright, so now we're gonna work on our veggies, right? Of course, this out of the way.
My wife.
Veg.
You wanna bring the other stuff over as, please?
Mom Nesbitt said my wife is Jamaican. She messed around, did a tasty vegetable medley. Healthy food is the key to
No.
godly living.
All right, so now we're ready to do our vegetables. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna wanna saute the mixed veggies first before we get the kale in here. So,
Bring this over here.
beautiful. We actually can use, that's fine, you can use that.
Okay.
You can use that.
And then we're gonna
Turn that on.
off the fire. Okay. Low or
No, high.
high?
Yep.
And then, are we gonna use some oil?
We're gonna use some oil, yep.
Okay.
Beautiful. Not yet, that is, go ahead, it's fine. That's good, perfect.
Then we're gonna put
Oh,
our
Abby, can
veggies.
you chop a little bit more garlic, please? We want some garlic in here as well.
Get some more.
See these beautiful colors, guys? Perfect, perfect.
Can't get a section off.
What you want to do?
Just a little bit.
Yeah, just one clove is fine.
Knife. Knife.
Let's see what. Trying to read. Okay, maybe I should stop trying to read.
You
Maybe
can't read.
because I don't have my glasses on, so I'm forcing my eyes here. I don't know why.
So Shivani said, love this, yum. True said, hey, fam.
What's up, Truce?
And he also said, hey, Chef Abby, loving this. Roger Willis said, hi.
Roger, is that Uncle Roger?
Little Roger,
Little-
I believe.
Hey. All right, perfect. So Abby, I'm gonna start here, okay? And then once you have the garlic
Patrice,
ready,
your
we'll incorporate
godson
that.
is upstairs watching TV. He waits to be fed like a king.
All right, so I'm, yeah, I know. LJ is always sitting there just lounging and waiting for the food. So we have all the vegetables here. My pan is hot, so I'm gonna just make sure, again, your pan is really hot so you can get a nice saute. For those who are following along with us, I hope you guys are still with me and hopefully my instructions are clear enough so you guys are still following along. So right now I'm gonna just dump my vegetables in get everything to saute. Again, you want to get that sizzle. I mean, that means your pan is really hot. There we go. So I'm going to let them saute a little bit more before I start incorporating any. So one thing I'll let you guys know too, whenever you're sauteing or your vegetables, you want them nice and crispy, you don't want to incorporate salt early. What happens is once you start to add salt, it starts to draw water out of all the vegetables. And then the water gets into the oil, then you're not going to get that nice, crispy, sauteed vegetable flavor and texture that you're looking for. So stay away from adding salt until the end when you're kind of really ready to, if you want to add some salt. But with the seasoning that we're going to use, we're really not going to add any additional salt. If you need more salt, just make sure you don't do anything yet. Just wait until the end. You don't want any salt early. You're going to draw water out of your food. All right, so now I'm going to start to add some of the spices.
Can I add the garlic?
Not yet. All right, so what I'm going to use is some of the dried spice, the onion powder mix, the cumin, the garlic powder. Going to add some of that here.
Did you add the paprika?
A little paprika. You want to do that, Abby? Just a touch of paprika for some color. That's good.
Did you already add the...
No, we don't need that. We don't need that. And a little bit of the double seasoning. That should be good enough.
Are you going to add the salt yet?
No, we're not adding any salt to it.
Okay.
All right, so now you can add the garlic. Very good. The reason I try not to add the garlic too early, it tends to, when your fire is hot, it's sauteing, the garlic tends to burn and give you that, bitter and flavor. You want to stay away from that. Last one. Jump right out, put it back in. All right, so my veg, I think is...
I want to.
Want to? Still got a nice bite to it. You don't want to cook it down too much, so it's not mushy. Once you get a nice bite, you feel that crunch. Now you can finish that. And now you can start to incorporate your kale. So, you want to kale chunks for me, Abby, please?
Mm-hmm.
There we go. So now, we're just going to add the kale right on top. And the kale is going to cook down. It's just like, almost like spinach. Once you start to put it in, the heat is going to cook it down a lot. So whatever portion you see I have here is going to cook down to a very, very small amount. So I'm just going to keep adding, cook some more.
A few comments, Chef. So Fritz said, watching you do this is going to make me come out of quarantine a fat boy.
Who was that?
Fritz. And Jamal said, what is the best way to learn how to incorporate spices and flavors and infuse them together?
What's the question? Repeat that for me.
What is the best way to learn how to incorporate spices and flavors and infuse them together?
It's a matter of trial and error. Try to get all the different spices and try to taste them individually. And then once you start to taste the back of your palate and start to identify those, make a dish, incorporate a couple at a time and taste. And then just keep adding a different spice, keep adding. And then as you start to do that, your palate will start to really understand spices and flavors. And you'll know when it matches well, when it's too much, when it's not enough. All right. Now look at the veg, guys. Look how beautiful that is. You see the colors? That's what I was talking about, using different colors. This looks amazing.
Like there's green, there's red, there's orange, there's yellow.
And nice and healthy. And remember, the more colors you have, healthier you are too. And kale is a super green, so make sure you consume a lot of that, guys. It's
Kale
really good.
and spinach, I really like kale and spinach. And green beans.
Now, one thing I'll tell you guys, which will help. Sometimes people are like, oh, kale is too bitter. Also, here's what you want to do if you don't like the taste of kale. So before you cook it, so you put it in your pan and you sprinkle some kosher salt and kind of massage it. All right, just kind of massage all the salt in there, just a pinch. Enough, it would start to break out the waters that's inside. It takes some of that bitterness away. So before you saute it, a little sprinkle of salt, all right? And then you kind of massage it, set it aside for about a half hour before you saute it. Beautiful. So let's get everything in here. Perfect.
Hot. This thing was sitting on the side and it got super hot.
I got it.
A couple people are admiring the colors.
Beautiful.
The Belcombe Lynn's Kira, I believe, said, "What an amazing father you are. I admire your family. May God always bless this family. One love from Tampa."
Oh, thank you. Thank you. All right, so let's get a little bit of butter, Abigail.
Butter?
Yep.
Where is the butter? Where did you put that?
Nicole Bell said, "Good information and education, Chef."
It's my pleasure. That's right. Hey, I want you guys to, and again, even after this, if you guys have any questions, feel free to PM me or write through this post here, write a comment. I'll be more than happy. I read almost every single one of them. So I'm going to add some black pepper. That's it.
Is the rest of this butter good?
Yeah. All right, so we're going to add a little bit of butter. Just a touch of butter, and after that, you guys will be ready to eat.
Yeah.
Those who are cooking with us, how are you doing? Are you almost ready?
Oh, so one more tip on the kale. That's the So one more thing I wanted to tell you guys too about the kale.
I would love
if you
to
buy the
see
kale,
those skills on Chop, my favorite cooking show. I think you will do well.
So if you buy the kale as like the big bunch in the store, part of the bitterness comes from the stem, the big stem that goes down the middle. Most of the bitterness is in the stem. So what you can do is just kind of pull the leaves away, just kind of trim it down with a knife, or just kind of pull the leaves away from the side and leave the trims behind. Some people like to eat them, but if you're not too familiar with kale, or you just don't like the flavor too much, again, most of the bitterness is from the stem. You want to remove the stem, and then you chop it down, and you're going to have some beautiful flavor in your kale. Nice and healthy. So right now, my kale is done.
That's so yummy.
Oh, look at this, guys. It smells so good, and my house smells amazing right now. So
Layla
right now we're gonna work on.
Layla Finn said, "I would love to learn how to make a beef Wellington."
Beef Wellington.
Yeah.
We could do that in one of the segments, absolutely. All right, so we're gonna do one plate for presentation. All right. Stay there. Stay there.
It's so big. It's like
All right, so now we're gonna work on plating. So right now, how do you clean stuff?
I want to plate.
All right, so if you guys, as you can see, I didn't even do a starch, so it's up to you if you want to do a starch with your dinner. But I want to just keep it healthy tonight, so I just stayed with the vegetables and the salmon and the sauce. I'll plate it. So here's our salmon. My sauce is still in here.
Oh, Tracy Pierre asked if white or brown rice would be good with this.
Oh, absolutely. I would go with brown rice. I mean, in terms of healthy, I'd want to stay away from the white rice. You could go brown rice, you could go quinoa, you could go with any of these other starches. But I try to stay away from the, I know I'm Haitian, I know I consume it a lot, but when I'm making like a more, looking for more healthy, I try to stay with like a brown rice or a quinoa or something like that. You could do a multicolor quinoa, has a lot of color, so that's amazing as well. All right, so now I'm just gonna do one plate for presentation for you guys so you could see, you know, how I'm plating it. You know, you guys, I always focus on presentation. It's not just the flavor of the food, which I know it's amazing, but also even when we're, you know, serving our food here, I try to present on the plate nicely for my family. And when I do events for my guests also, we want to make sure, you know, when you put the food down, it catches your eye and it just makes you want to eat it, all right? So I'm going to work on this one. Oh, LJ decides to come down here. Now he wants ice cream. Now he's, what's going on, buddy? You want ice cream? All right, can somebody serve the man some ice cream, please?
No, dinner's almost ready.
All right, so I'm gonna flip the screen here so we could work on our plating. We have so the first thing I'm gonna do, let me wipe this down. Right here, so I want you guys to see kind of how I work on presentation. So I'm gonna get my veg down. All right.
April says hello.
Hi, April. I'm gonna use my veg down. A nice amount of veg. Look at the beautiful colors on that plate, guys. Oh my God. Right, so now we're gonna work our salmon. Get this beautiful piece right here. You could put that right across this way. Hope you guys can see it. And then I'm gonna take my sauce. Kind of just run that right over. And then just kind of finish it on the plate, like just like that. All right, I mean, if you want more sauce, you can, but this is our dinner for tonight, guys. We have, again, we have the herb-crusted pan-seared salmon. We have the sauteed kale with the vegetable medley. We have carrots, red peppers, green peppers, yellow peppers, some carrots and onions, which we sauteed with all the spices and the seasoning that we use for the fish. And the sauce I made with cherry tomatoes, cooked down with some white wine, some spices, that again, same herbs that I use for the fish. And then we flash it with some white wine, let it deglaze. And I use my NutriBullet to blend it. Again, as I said before, you don't necessarily have to blend it. It's up to you. You can eat the cherry tomatoes just like that. But for me, I think the sauce gives it another touch of presentation. And this is it. So this is our dinner for tonight. Wait, you have a question?
Sarah, Layla Finn said, do you prefer farm-raised salmon or wild salmon?
All right, so this has been asked several times of me. Let me straighten up the screen, please. All right, so farm-raised salmon. So there's been huge debate about that, which is better, which is not. So there's pros and cons to both, right? So farm-raised salmon, what happens is they feed them the same stuff all the time. So if they're using good quality product to feed the fish, so it all depends on wherever they're being farmed, right? So if they use good quality food for them, they're eating the same stuff consistently, and so they're in a really protected environment, and it's good product that's going into the system. It's perfectly fine. Now the wild caught salmon, the negative part about that is it's great that they're free range, you know, eating whatever's out there in the ocean. But the bad part about it too, they are getting all the polluted, you know, water and food that's in the ocean. So there's pros to cons to everything. So you know, for the price you're paying for, you know, wild caught salmon, quite frankly, if you're getting from a good vendor that you know they're, you know, producing quality food, the farm raised is just fine. So again, it's up to you, but just wanted to kind of give you the breakdown of both. All right.
And Abby, somebody asked what your favorite cuisine is. Your favorite type of food?
Probably my mommy's spaghetti.
There you have it. There you have it. Mommy's spaghetti. That's our favorite. All right, guys. So this is our plate. I hope you guys enjoyed the time here. I hope you learned something. Again, I'm here for you guys during quarantine. Feel free to call me, PM me, text me, you know, whatever, you know, it takes to get to me to get some more lessons, I'd be more than happy to help. I want you guys to eat at home with your families, eat healthy, and stay safe. We're going to say our goodbyes. Anything you want to say, Abby?
This is gonna be a good dinner, and I hope when you make it, you have fun too.
All right, so just so you know, guys, a little plug here. Abigail just has her YouTube channel on. It's up and running now. We're just gonna start adding videos, but if you guys please go to her page, we're actually gonna post it on my page. Kind of get a link right through there. She's not known yet, so her page is not coming up when you put it in. But if I'm gonna send the link out, you guys can click on the link. Please do me a favor, subscribe and send it to your friends. And have your kids follow too. We're gonna have a lot of stuff for kids also. So I want you guys to follow her. A lot of instructions gonna be on her page. And we want you guys to have fun with your kids and your families. So check her page out. And we're ready to go. What's that? Oh yeah, so I just got a reminder. The name of her page. You want to tell them? You tell them about your page.
It's called Cooking with My Daddy.
All right, so that's the name of her YouTube channel, Cooking with My Daddy, and she's also on Instagram now, Cooking with My Daddy. If you go on Instagram, you'll see it. In fact, we're going to put the link to her YouTube on the Instagram. If you go into her bio, the link will be there as well. All right, so please feel free, free to just go in there, subscribe. Like when we do a post, we're going to try to post weekly and check out our videos. All right. Love you guys. Hope you enjoy your families, your great dinners at home. Cook more. You know, I know it's easy to get food delivered, but it's healthier to cook at home. All right. Want to say bye? Good night, guys. Love you. Have a great evening. Peace.